Welcome to Your World in Agriculture. I'm Mike McGinnis. It's November 26, 2024. Today we'll talk about the tariffs proposed for Mexico, Canada, and China. Also, fertilizer prices move up in the month of November. Update on the net farm income for 2024 and for next year. And finally, a cold winter outlook for U.S. agriculture. First off, President-elect Trump says he would levy tariffs of 25% on imports of all goods from Mexico and Canada, accusing both countries of facilitating illegal immigration and fentanyl abuse in the U.S. Now, he posted this on his X account this week. He also promised to levy additional tariffs of 10% on Chinese imports, citing what he says is China's failure to regulate the chemicals that go into the drug fentanyl. Now, the question is Trump trying to get Canada and Mexico to the negotiating table early on in his presidency for the revamp of the USMCA trade agreement, which is scheduled for 2026, although the talk and negotiations will go on in 2025. Now, the USMCA replaced the 10-year-old NAFTA trade agreement, the free trade agreement, again, that was in place. Canada, meanwhile, has asked just this week for a bilateral agreement with the U.S., citing that it doesn't believe that Mexico is following some of the USMCA rules and would like, in fact, just to have a bilateral trade agreement specifically with the U.S. And we'll see again if this talk and from President Trump is an attempt to get the two countries to the table early on. Now, for agriculture, if Trump carries out the tariff threat, Mexico could retaliate, leveling tariffs on U.S. corn growers, milk, and pork exports. Of course, all of those categories rely on Mexico's purchases. Mexico, a big buyer, especially of U.S. corn. The Associated Press is reporting on Tuesday, President Claudia Sheinbaum suggested that Mexico could retaliate with tariffs of its own. Net farm income outlook doesn't look good for this year, as many already know, but also it doesn't look good for next year. Negative net farm income levels will extend into 2025. Farm finances for this year will average a negative $24,000. Average net farm income for next year, a negative $12,000. This comes from the Center for Farm Financial Management at the University of Minnesota. It reported the results of the state of the farm finances at a recent American Bankers Association meeting for the Agricultural Bankers Conference in Milwaukee. A bright spot in that report, fertilizer expenses are projected to be lower, and that would be, of course, good for the any farmers planting corn next year. Meanwhile, the November fertilizer prices moved up. According to the DTN Fertilizer Index, it reports that in November, 7 fertilizers with slightly higher prices were DAP, which had an average price of $739 per ton, MAP at $810 per ton, urea at $496 per ton, 1034O at $607 per ton, and hydrous at $711 per ton, UAN 28 at $322 per ton, and UAN 32 fertilizer at $364 per ton. How do those compare to your prices in your county or in your region? The one fertilizer that was slightly less expensive, according to the DTN Fertilizer Index, was potash, and that was lower last month. Crude oil prices are pushing higher. After dropping 3% on Monday, prices edged higher on Tuesday as investors look at risk to Russian supply and await the OPEC Plus announcement this weekend, with most expecting the group to further delay its planned production hike. Finally, cold winter is expected for the upper Midwest. Scientist Eric Snodgrass says a harsh winter is ahead, and that benefits U.S. agriculture. The harder the winter, more snowpack is involved, and that snowpack eventually melts and provides the moisture needed for March and April's planting season. Well, that's this report for today. Again, if you like this information, if you want more, please like the channel and subscribe. We will see you soon. For Your World in Agriculture, I'm Mike McGinnis.